You know what's more fun than being a teenager? Trick question. Nothing is, except maybe driving. But you know what can really screw up being a teenager and driving? Gambling. And we're not talking about some harmless poker night with friends. We're talking about a generation of kids increasingly hooked on risky betting behaviors. Studies show that teenagers are now gambling at alarming rates, often exceeding those of adults. It's a hidden crisis, lurking beneath the surface of seemingly harmless apps and websites. And it's time we shine a light on this dangerous trend before it's too late. Let's face it, teenagers are impulsive. They're wired to seek thrills and rewards. Their brains are still developing, making them more susceptible to addiction. And gambling, with its promise of easy money and excitement, preys on these vulnerabilities. The consequences? They can be devastating, leading to financial ruin, broken relationships, and a lifetime of struggle. It's like giving a baby a chainsaw. Seems like a bad idea, right? Remember the days when you had to sneak into a shady casino to get your gambling fix? Yeah, me neither. Those days are long gone. Today, the casino comes to you, conveniently disguised as a colourful app on your smartphone. Online gambling platforms have exploded in popularity, offering everything from sports betting to virtual casinos, all just a click away. It's like having a Las Vegas buffet in your pocket, minus the all-you-can-eat shrimp cocktail. This easy access is particularly dangerous for teenagers. They've grown up in a digital world where online interaction is second nature. They're tech-savvy and easily enticed by the flashy graphics and promises of quick riches that these platforms offer. And because online gambling is often seen as less risky than traditional forms of gambling, parents and educators may not even realize their kids are engaging in this harmful behavior. It's like trying to stop a virus with a fly swatter. You're going to need a bigger swatter. You know what's cooler than being cool? Not gambling away your allowance on a long-shot bet, but try telling that to a teenager bombarded with messages that glorify gambling as a glamorous and acceptable pastime. From celebrity endorsements to product placements in video games and movies, gambling is increasingly being normalized, particularly among young people. Peer pressure also plays a significant role in this dangerous trend. Teenagers are highly susceptible to influence from their peers, and if gambling is seen as cool or acceptable within their social circles, they're more likely to experiment with it themselves. It's like trying to fit in by wearing your pants around your ankles. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't make it a good idea. Teenagers are emotional roller coasters. They experience intense highs and lows, often triggered by school pressures, social anxieties, and family dynamics. And for some, gambling becomes a way to cope with these overwhelming emotions. It's a temporary escape from stress, anxiety, or even boredom. But like a sugar rush, the initial high is often followed by a devastating crash. Teens struggling with low self-esteem or a lack of control in their lives may be particularly vulnerable to the allure of gambling. The thrill of winning, even if it's just a small amount, can provide a much-needed boost to their fragile egos. But this temporary high comes at a steep price, often leading to a vicious cycle of addiction and despair. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It might seem like a good idea at the time, but it's only going to make things worse. Section 5. Spotting the signs. Is your teenager at risk? Gambling addiction is often called the hidden illness because it rarely presents with obvious physical symptoms. But there are warning signs, subtle shifts in behavior that can indicate a problem is brewing. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But if you know what to look for, you'll be one step ahead of the game. Is your teenager suddenly obsessed with sports scores or financial news? Are they secretive about their online activity or constantly asking for money? These could be red flags that something is amiss. Other signs include changes in sleep patterns, withdrawing from friends and family, and a decline in academic performance. If you notice any of these warning signs, it's crucial to intervene early and seek professional help. Section 6. A house of cards. Devastating consequences. Gambling addiction doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone, regardless of age, background, or socioeconomic status. But the consequences of this devastating addiction are particularly severe for teenagers. Their brains are still developing, making them more susceptible to long-term damage. Imagine building a house on a foundation of sand. It might stand for a while, but eventually it's going to crumble. That's what gambling addiction does to a teenager's life. It undermines their education, destroys their relationships, and jeopardizes their future. They may experience financial ruin, legal problems, and even suicidal thoughts. It's like playing Russian roulette with their lives, and the odds are never in their favor. Section 7. Building fences. Prevention and intervention strategies. We can't just stand by and watch as another generation falls prey to the seductive trap of gambling addiction. It's time to take action, to build fences of prevention and intervention that protect our youth from this growing epidemic. It's like teaching your kids about stranger danger, but for the digital age. Education is key. We need to start talking to our kids about the risks of gambling at an early age, just like we talk to them about the dangers of drugs and alcohol. We need to equip them with the knowledge and skills they need to make responsible decisions. And we need to be vigilant, monitoring their online activity and setting clear boundaries. Section 8. Conclusion. Teenage gambling addiction is a serious problem, but it's not insurmountable. By increasing awareness, promoting responsible gambling practices, and providing support to those in need, we can help our youth navigate the digital world safely and responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to intervene. If you suspect your teenager may have a gambling problem, reach out for help. There are resources available, and there is hope for recovery. Let's work together to ensure that our children's futures are built on a foundation of hope, not a house of cards.